Sheilas and fellas, today we bring you the best high-end, budget-orientated PC ever built. For just over $1,506.7, Hank and Frank have managed to build an RTX 5080 9800X3D PC in 2025.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know it sounds too good to be true, but don't worry, mate. Hank has the receipts.
Liar!
Can you repeat this build yourself with no effort? Absolutely not, mate. You are competing against the best PC building dog to ever live. And stick around to the end, mate, because Hank has a big announcement and a little surprise you won't want to miss. Now, when it comes to insane deals, it all starts with the one and only Micro Center, tech heaven for PC flipping virgins like me and Hank. And when we saw this deal online, we had to change our pants afterwards. An RTX 5080 gigabyte model open box for $809. What the hell, Bron James? A 3-fan but 2-slot design, the same size as the Costco Glizzy and about half the size of Hank. It's all blacked out and isn't the sexiest card on the market. It has no ARGB, but $809 for a 16 gigabyte RTX 5080 in this economy? Hurry up and take my money. But Micro Center wasn't done there, mate. No. They had this open box Asus Tough Gaming B650E blacked out motherboard for $73. What the helly berry? This is disgustingly low. We opened it up at the store expecting bent pins and a missing Wi-Fi antenna, but it was newer than the day it was pushed out of its mother's womb. It's a great looking board with decent VRMs, USB-C connector, 3 M.2, so decent rear I/O with 7 USB connectors and a USB-C and the crescendo to top it all off, Wi-Fi 6E connectivity. All that for 73 buckaroonies? I think I have fallen and hit my head, mate, because I must be dreaming right now. But once again, Micro Center isn't done there. They have gone 3 for 3 with this open box Ryzen 9800X3D for a mouth-watering $390. That amounts to about $70 in savings for the best gaming CPU in existence right now. 8 cores, 16 threads, and enough 3D V-cache to make your jaw drop. We are not sponsored by Micro Center, but with all the deals we've got there recently, they've saved us thousands of dollars, so we may as well be. And do you want some advice from Hank? Leave your friends, family, significant other, baby, and anyone else behind and move close to a Micro Center. It is tech heaven and totally worth it. Moving on to the RAM, and this is about as budget as it gets for 32 gigabytes DDR5. It's from Kingsbank, 6,000 mega transfers per second, but only CL36 timings, mate. Yes, I know this PC is so goated and it deserves CL30 so it can get that extra 0.0000001 frames per second upgrading it. But mate, we got these sticks a couple of months ago for $6-7, so do not even come at me with the CL number, you filthy animals. If you do want to upgrade to CL30 and get less than 1/8 of 1 frame per second higher performance, we just ordered these 32 gigabyte sticks from Acer, $84 on Amazon. Check them out, although I purchased 8 of them, so it may be out of stock.
What the hell, no?
My bad, mate, but if you see deals that are too good to be true, buy them in bulk, mate. It'll save you in the long run. Especially with how much RAM has gone up recently, it saved us a ton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a very sad announcement from Hank. We are down to our final open box M.2 that we got for $44. The Kingston 1 terabyte drive. One of the best deals Hank ever got, all gone. So many memories, but mate, the Glizzy is unfazed. He pulled a rabbit out of the hat with this next deal thanks to Amazon's big sale last week. Hank got his paws on some unbelievable NVMEs, mate. They were giving 35% off open box M.2, so he got 5 of these Samsung 990 Evo Pluses. Originally, they were $65, but he got them for a grand total of 226 spankers after the discount. If you do some quick math on that, that is $45 per stick after tax, mate. But that's not all. They had 2 terabyte M.2s 35% off as well. Originally 119 buckaroonies each. He got another 5 for a total of 411 buckaroonies. So throwing that into a calculator, $82 per M.2 for 2 terabytes of Samsung storage, mate. That settles it. The Glizzy is the undisputed M.2 champion, mate. Let me know down in the comments if you found a similar deal to us on Amazon, mate. Now, most people wouldn't want to give away their trade secrets, but Hank isn't a person, mate. He's a dog and he is here for the people. We found this deal and many others on the Build a PC sales subreddit, mate. Go check it out. It's seriously goated. They'll save you thousands of dollars. And let Hank know down in the comments if you sniped this M.2 deal during Amazon's 2-day sale. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and the gang is all here. Our beautiful completed Asus TUF B650E motherboard with the 9800X3D chucked inside alongside the greatest PC builder, Hank, his stuffed brother, Frank, The legendary Costco glizzy mounted by the 10-foot long snake Hank won at the fair. And Pepe the Frog standing in the background looking suspicious AF. What are you doing back there, mate? But let's get all these losers out of the way so we can introduce the case, and we were looking for three things: budget, quality, and infinity! Frank, get your long eye out of there. Introducing the new Budget King, the DIY PC N6 Blacks for $73 off Newegg. 4 Infinity fans, 3 reverse blade to bring air in and 1 exhaust at the back, curved glass, a huge amount of room to build in, 2 USB 3s and a USB-C on the front I/O, an LED switch which allows you to change colors with the included ARGB hub, and plenty of room to stuff your cables down the bottom. So for $73, great deal. And as you probably noticed, we have been building with DIY PC cases a lot lately, and they are now competing for GOAT status in the budget PC case section. Next up, we are throwing the power supply in, and this thing is thirsty for power, so we are going with the best budget PSU out right now, 1000 watts of a PVA Prestige. Everyone keeps bad-mouthing it in the comments, but come on, mate, tier C on the PSU tiers list for $79. We've built with tons of these and have this in our personal 5090 build, and it runs great, so stop complaining. And importantly, it comes with the 600 watt PCIe 5 connector, which can go straight into the RTX 5080 as opposed to throwing 3 8-pin PCIes into the adapter. Is there a higher chance it'll melt and explode? Yes, but is it worth it to get rid of the cable clutter? Absolutely not, mate, but we are a maniac, so we are doing it. We've had it in our 5090 for a few months now, and it's completely fine. See? Time to yeet the motherboard in. Unfortunately, this baby doesn't fit unless you remove the fan on the exhaust, but it's just 4 screws. Once you get the fan off, chuck this bad boy in with no regards for human life, screw the fan back in, wire that baby up, and you are good to go. The motherboard is in and looking good, but where are our manners, mate? We never introduced our cooling system. The problem is, we wanted to keep this thing within budget, but unfortunately, we ordered this Thermalright Aqua Elite 360 V3 for $47, but they sent us the white version, not the black one. What are you doing, Amazon and Thermalright? We needed to get the PC done immediately, and we couldn't wait another 3 days for them to send us the proper one, so we thought, screw it, mate. We had this baby sitting around, the Thermalright WandaVision 360 AMOLED curved AIO design. It's cheap as chips, mate, just $208. Ah! Don't worry, once we're done with the PC, we will put 2 costs at the end of the build: the budget price we intended to build with, and the baller one where we pay for all the unnecessary upgrades with. It comes with 3 fans, and honestly, they are great, but the blades aren't ARGB, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway because these were always coming off for, you guessed it, infinity!
Yes! Hell yeah!
Dark Rock Ford blade, a 3-pack for $15 off Amazon. The link is down below. Let's get these much better fan blades off for our cheap but sexy infinity fans. Oh, that's better, mate. Infinity for life. If we didn't put this on, our hands would be shaking and we would be having withdrawals. The curved AMOLED screen is magnetic, so it just pops on and off like this, and you can also rotate it to any direction you want. It's awesome. Nice. But if I'm going to be honest, the Trix model we purchased in our Dream PC video is higher quality and has much better software, as you'll see later, but it's $251, mate. So if you want higher quality, go with that. But in saying this, wait until the end of the video and you'll see that it's still very good looking. To install the radiator, the top just pops off like so. You can see the mounting brackets for the screws up the top here. It's a bit tough to yeet into the case, but Hank was a Tetris world champion, mate, so he gets it in there, and once you screw it in up the top, Jojo Siwa is your long-lost sister, and you are good to go. Time to mount the AIO pump. The mounting brackets are very easy to install. Just follow the instructions and ask questions below if you're having trouble. We are using the TF7 thermal paste that comes with the AIO. A little X marks the spot like always, and there's still a bit more in the tube, mate, so let's get it all on there. And oh god, mate, that's way too much, but Hank does like it pasty, so it'll be fine. Throw the pump head on, screw it down each side little by little, and OMG, we didn't remove the protective sticker. We are so bad at this PC building thing. Where is Frank? He is getting body slammed.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
All right, here we are. We removed the pump head and look at it, mate. Almost the biggest bogan blunder of all time. For God's sakes, remove this protective sticker. And unfortunately, we've used all the paste up, so we're going to have to open up another cooler that we have in our garage and then order some more paste for a future build. What is wrong with us? The paste is back on. Once again, we used way too much, but who cares, mate? You only live once. Throw the pump head back on with no regards for human life. Screw it down each side little by little, then pop the AMOLED screen on and boom, mate. This baby is almost complete.
You suck.
Time to throw this beautiful $800 5080 into the unbelievable PC. Pepe is warming it up for us. Thanks, buddy. Before we throw this in, we are going to need 2 firm handshakes from Sir Hank, who was recently knighted by the King of England for his PC building prowess, and then we are yeeting this bad boy in. Here we go, mate. Throw it into the top PCIe slot, one-handed as hard as you can. $800 be damned.
I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon.
And touchdown. Mate, no one inserts GPUs like the Glizzy man. Grab your 600-watt connector, throw it in as hard as you can. For God's sakes, mate, make sure it's in tight or it will melt guaranteed. And we are done. Hank, do you have anything you'd like to say before we turn this baby on?
I like turtles.
My God, mate, we haven't even turned this thing on, but something is missing. I can't quite put my finger on it. However, I am addicted to Hank's Frito smell and pour, so 2 more firm handshakes and then we'll turn it on and see if we can figure out what is missing. And there it is, and nah, I'm not feeling it, mate. The green looks good, but there is no image on the LCD screen, and it's boring as hell down the bottom. Let's see if Rainbow ARGB Puke helps. Nah, it doesn't, mate. And Hank is trying to eat Pepe. What are you doing? But as you all know, I've been going to magic school, so if we do a little hocus pocus, and boom, baby, there we go. 3 more reverse blade fans down the bottom, and a picture of the world's ugliest dog on the AMOLED screen. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is why we build PCs. The Rainbow ARGB doesn't suit many cases, but I think it looks incredible on this bad boy. Let's see what happens if we turn this baby to the Team Green Lean Mean Fighting Machine theme. And oh yeah, now we're talking. That is the money shot. I know I say this every time, but this is the best looking PC we have ever built. 10 infinity fans, AMOLED screen with a hot dog in the middle. This DIY case brings the smackdown, and the ARGB fan hub is bringing some very nice colors. If you have a keen eye, you can see we switched out the RAM. Strangely, the Kingsbank sticks didn't work in this rig, but worked in another AM5 build with the 9600X. I don't know what's going on. We upgraded the BIOS and everything, and still nothing, mate. So now we have these CL30 T-Force ARGB sticks in there, so the PC elitists on Reddit will finally be happy. Let me know if the Glizzy cooked on this build or if he got cooked, mate. The PC looks incredible, but more incredible is the price. Now, if we were more patient and stuck with the cheaper AIO once it got delivered, got the RAM replaced, didn't throw in 3 fans down the bottom, and didn't throw cable extensions on the 24-pin connector, this PC would have cost an insane 1,576 United States freedom dollars, which to me is absolutely bonkers for a 5080 9800X3D PC. It would have been great, but if my mom had balls, she'd be my dad, and that build didn't happen. Hank is an idiot and wanted to ball out, so he splurged to make it look better for everyone on YouTube, and I mean, just look at it, mate. It doesn't get better than Hank's face on the AIO and all of these Infinity fans, but in total, this bad boy costs 1,853 United States sausages, which for a build of this quality is still great, but roast me down below if you think we got ripped off. So before we make our big announcement, we should probably do some benchmarks, right? Starting with good old reliable Marvel Rivals 4K ultra graphics, but shadows turned off with DLSS set to quality, and we are locked and loaded at over 130 frames per second. If you are desperate for higher FPS, throwing it down to low settings on 4K gets well over 200 frames per second, whereas turning on frame gen brings you into the 400, so not bad for an $800 GPU, right? Nope. Hank had to use my doppelganger Venom, and the reason why I am Venom in real life is because I am a similar height and muscularity, but more importantly, I have a massive parasite living inside of me as well. The PC was so good that Hank went on to get a fat dub, and more importantly, the MVP. The Slinker is the GOAT when it comes to Marvel Rivals. Now for our first big announcement, we have purchased Battlefield 6 to add to the benchmarks, baby. Get excited. We started with the graphics set to Ultra 4K, the highest settings possible, but with DLSS set to quality just to give it a bit of support, and this is literally my first time shooting a weapon in this game, and look at the results. Boom, baby, straight in the kisser. We handed the remote to Hank and it played very well considering it was set to the highest graphics, an average of just under 80 frames per second, but it would stutter when we were like KSI and in the thick of it, so we turned the settings down to high in the next match and it was so much better. An average of around 124 frames per second, great 1% lows, and Hank put on an absolute sniping masterclass. He was on one in this match. More importantly, the PC ran great, 36 degrees averages on the GPU and just under 70 on the CPU, and this was after playing for about 3 hours. An important thing to note, even when we took the 4K graphics from Ultra down to high, Battlefield 6 was creeping up towards the 16 gigabytes of VRAM that this card has stuffed inside of it, which is pretty insane. So maybe you are better off spending the extra $10,000 for the RTX 6000 Pro for its 96 gigabytes of VRAM. And now it's time for the big announcement, baby, and that is that the benchmarks are over, mate. Sorry to cut things short, but it's because we got our hands on this refurbished RTX 4080 Super from Micro Center for 600 buccarinos. A pretty wild price, so in a few weeks we are going to build a ballin' R7800X3D PC around this bad boy and do a benchmark battle of the 40 series second most powerful card versus the 5080. And trust me, mate, you are not going to want to miss it because you will see just how little effort Jensen and Nvidia put into these next-gen cards to give you minuscule performance gains for a higher price point. Now get out of here, mate. Me and the weenie love ya. Goodbye.